go. Well, welcome, Tim.
Thanks very much.
It's pretty exciting. So we've had Shana here today. You've shown her the ropes, how to sort of work the machine, the OMEO.
That's
It's
right.
a pretty cool bit of tech, isn't it?
It is amazing. Absolutely. Yeah. Game changer for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, tell us about it. So obviously we've got the kit here for those at home. You know, it's a wheelchair, but it's not any type of wheelchair, is it? It's a special type.
Correct. Yeah. It's self-balancing technology, 2 wheels, 4 independent legs on the ground that allow us to sit like this and have a conversation. Lean back into the seat and feel comfortable. And as you've seen, it's, going up and down the hills, through the playground, and go to the beach sometime.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we were talking about this before. One, I started trying to go back, and you can even see there I was a little bit apprehensive, but very, very safe and secure.
Very stable, yeah.
Shana literally hadn't used it before, and one of the really cool things, it seems, is that you give a bit of a demonstration as well if someone buys the product, that they get a bit of a trial with it.
A trial, yeah.
And you train them with it.
Yeah,
as well.
we come to the park. Generally like to come to this park because there's lots of different challenges around. Grass, bark chips, curbs, and speed humps. And then, just meet the customer here for a good hour or so and get them on as long as we can and get them onto the seat and get them used to it. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about the history. So this product's a bit famous, I hear.
Yeah,
Is that true?
Correct. Yes.
Where's it famous from?
It's famous from New Zealand, and the guys built it for a guy called Marcus originally, and Kevin is his mate, and they helped put it together. And I think it'd be over 10 years ago now by Easy that the first prototype kicked off, and this is where we are today, the OMEO. So
it's pretty cool, and I'm a bit of a entrepreneur fan. I quite like seeing Dragon's Den and things like that.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I saw Dragon's Den, I think it was only a couple of months ago, and I'm in these OT communities, the NDIS OT community was going crazy, like, what's this product? What's OMEO?
That's right. Yeah.
And we're sitting on one now, right? So
absolutely, yeah. They're Dragon's Den in the UK, so the UK agents, and they, been a decent upkick in interest since that show, as you can imagine, the BBC. So yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, I think it's pretty useful for us to talk through the use cases of it, because there's manual wheelchairs, there's electric wheelchairs. So why OMEO versus that? What's the sort of differences that you've found?
Well, in my manual chair over there's no way I could push up that hill as effortlessly as you see in the videos today. So same with going to the beach.
Yeah.
You can't go on the beach in that. You sit down into the axles, whereas the OMEO will just cruise over the soft sand, bark chip.
Yeah.
Without breaking a sweat, and you can
I've seen it firsthand.
you can put your cup of water or whatever you want to drink in this hand and just head to the beach, holding your other hand in your partner's hand, and away you go.
Oh, it's pretty fantastic. I'm a physio by background, and it sounds a whole lot like the word independence is something that comes to mind when I think of OMEO.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, want to go to the beach by yourself, you can. You don't need extra people helping you along and or equipment. So just game changer. Open up different doors, and you want to go to the Moriata Reserve and go for a walk up the first falls. Easy to do.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. But let's get into some of the details. So,
sure.
Product like the life, as far as how long a use may be before charge, etc.
Sure. Okay. So the OMEO has 4 batteries on board.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 main batteries are for the wheels alone, and they will take you a total distance of 60 kilometres. That does reduce depending on how the OMEO is working. If you're in the super soft sand, it's working harder to keep you moving, so the battery life does shorten there. But you could go to the show easy enough and be in the OMEO all day and have no issues with the battery life. In fact, we went 3 years ago, and the charge indicator on the info key controller here, has 8 bars, and we still had over half of it to go before it needed recharging, and we'd been there all day. So.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And one of the other things I was just thinking about before is, when you're going down, like, say if you're walking, or you've got someone that you're next to that's you're walking with, like, what's that like? I mean, if you think of a usual typical case in a wheelchair, you're sort of miles away, and doesn't really feel like it's connected. Is it much different in the OMEO?
A lot more inclusive, and I guess probably both on a physical and an emotional point of view as well, because, as you can imagine, in a day chair, you're pushing like this with your wheels, you haven't got time to, you can't hold your partner's hand. Whereas if, they're right next to you and you've one hand on the OMEO holding their hand, walking along, it's an emotional connection. So,
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's important to note, not just price, it's also about what it gives you. So the OMEO is a very different product as far as inclusivity, which I know that we've been banging on about a lot. For damn good reasons as well. I think we really need to make sure that we can have people feel included in the community and really have different opportunities available. I'm wondering, in a work sense, would the OMEO change what opportunities might be available for someone who's in a wheelchair as far as employment goes? I don't really know. This is a bit one off the cuff, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you can use it at work. Roll up to your desk, go for a walk at lunchtime, or it just depends on what sort of job you've got. Project management, it all does that sort of stuff. And from a sports point of view as well, I mean, we don't recommend that you go crashing into each other, but if you wanted to go play golf, you could meet your mates at the golf course and quite easy to have a go at golf.
So that's like really opening up doors, right?
Yeah, correct.
You're not doing that in a standard wheelchair.
No, the groundskeepers at the golf club don't like you going out on little thin wheels, whereas if you've got nice big fat wheels, you can go to the golf course and get a few balls around.
Oh, well, it makes sense. And
chase them.
And chase them. What's the use case? Is there a typical person that needs to, like level of spinal cord injury, or who's it for and who's it not for? There must be some people it's suitable for and maybe not.
There is a wide variety of people it's for. There's no cookie cutter. I'm a T4 paraplegic of 23 years, and we've had quadriplegics. We've got people with MS, muscular dystrophy, amputations, above and below knee. There's a wide variety of people who can use it.
And so, Tim, do you want to walk us through? We've got some curbs behind us here. In the video, I remember seeing you going up and down. Is that something you can do in a normal wheelchair?
You can do it in a normal wheelchair. Obviously, it takes a bit more effort to get up and down the curbs. And as you said in the video, you can point the OMEO the direction of the curb and away you go. You can either go 2 wheels at a time or 1 at a time. And so going up and down.
How about compared to not an OMEO though? I'm assuming other wheelchairs aren't probably as fond as curbs as what these are. They seem like they're a little bit more friendly with it.
Yeah, there's always a risk in a day chair, if you're in a manual chair, of risk of falling out and going over. So with an OMEO, as I say, you point it at the curb and pops up and away you go.
And we were talking about a couple of things before as well, as far as the ability to travel. So someone who's got an OMEO, what's that look like for them if they want to get on a plane and just kit with that, or how's it all work?
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, we've travelled with ours. You can either check it in at the check-in counter, or you can take it to the aircraft door. It's just a procedure that we run through our customers and ourselves before we hand it over to the skillful baggage handlers. And we just, Qantas are fantastic. They've from a point of view using Qantas as an example, they put the OMEO into a orange crate. And the forklift picks it up and puts it into the underbody of the plane, and then we get to Perth, and again it was there excess oversized baggage.
Oh, lovely.
So then it doesn't add towards your baggage allowance. You're still allowed your 20 kilos. And your day chair doesn't count towards your weight limit. So
that's really good. And I hear you're at the farm a little bit. Is this true? Or is this a lie?
No, it's true. I've used it on the farm. Looking at cows or finding some firewood or mud. So
the
kids chasing the kids around on the farm, and
Well, we were talking before as well when you were in some pretty tricky spots in the playground. I assume that must, having young children like you've expressed, like that must make you feel a lot more included, I imagine.
That's right, yeah. And it's great for the kids, as you can imagine. You know, dad's there or mum's there, you know. They're not sort of stuck outside the playground. Makes a huge difference being able to be included in that and being involved with the family. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And keeping up with the kids, are you actually in front of them? Are they chasing you down, or how's that work?
Yeah, it's generally a race. So, I mean, our middle child, she plays softball, and so is our youngest. He plays softball. So, Saturday morning, we'll go out to the pitch and take the OMEO with us and swap between matches, because they're usually on at the same time. So, I can be on the oval and over at one match and zip over to the other match without breaking a sweat. So, yeah, it's brilliant. You know, being able to watch it, and also for them, having somebody on their team, on their side, cheering them on. So
I think that's really important, and obviously that little connection we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so beyond that, so let's say if we wanted to get one, let's talk a little bit more about the practical process. We've got occupational therapists, Conscious Healthcare SA. But what's the actual real process if you wanted to get one? I'm assuming there's quotes and all this other stuff.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, generally the OT will contact us because they've got a customer who's interested. It's in the videos or what have you. We'll organise a trial like today to come out and hook up a trial, put the customer through their paces, get them introduced to it, make sure they're comfortable, and then if they're happy to proceed, we'll organise a quote. Then it gets sent off to the OT, and you guys do your magic AT paperwork.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's all ready to send into the NDIS.
Yeah, well, so like a lot of, from the practical side of things, I'm not an occupational therapist, but we do have quite a lot in our team. There's the whole justification about what's reasonable and necessary. And I'm really sort of thinking with this practical use case that it's very much, freedom, choice, and control are the three main principles that the NDIS is founded on. And so the ability to be able to have independence, that's sort of freedom. Right? Freedom to me is independence. Choice, well, the choice to be able to be active if that's what you want to do. Don't let your circumstances or disability mean that there's things you can or can't do. So I feel like that's a pretty natural fit. And then control in regards to what you do or not. So I think like ultimately, hey, if this is the sort of product that you want to have that's fit for purpose, like which we talk about getting up and over all these different hills, going up the hill. We're talking about going around with your family. I feel like that's a pretty decent case to put forward and have people been successful with it.
Yeah, lots of people, hundreds of people being successful. So it just depends on what sort of your goals are and how you want to, how your OMEO can fit into your life and make your life easier, really.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, yeah.
Have you got any final words at all for our audience as far as what you might want them to know about OMEO or in general? We're a big advocate of the disability sector and having people thrive forward and have the life that they want.
I mean, it just provides more opportunities. It just provides more opportunities to go do what you want to do, and less impact on the body. I guess saving your shoulders from having to push your chair, or if you've got bad knees, or it just makes it easier.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And if anyone's wants to get in touch and they want to get one of these magical toys, what do they do?
Well, look up OMEO Technology, and they'll assign you to the nearest agent. There's a few agents in Australia, and obviously we've got agents around the world as well. But get in touch with OMEO, and they can put you in the right direction with the local agent.
Oh, sounds fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate Mel, who's behind the camera here at the minute, and also yourself, Tim. I really appreciate it.
Trevor. Thanks very much.